Hello and welcome in. It's that time again. It is Sunday. Oh, it's 12:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as I come in here on Sunday for our collective week ahead card pulls. We have snow coming in, expecting several inches and some much colder weather appearing this week. So it's one of those kind of cozy days here, perfect for us to continue our exploration of this gorgeous winter season tarot that we're working with this month. We're also going to pull a card from the Sacred Destiny Oracle today, feeling into our collective energies this coming week of January. And in fact, we were going to get into some of the energetic weather. We welcome in Aquarius season this week. So happy birthday to all the Aquarians. We welcome in that energy of the water bearer. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get into the energetic weather. We're going to tap in here. And then I will open it up. If anybody would like a free personal card pull this week, you can feel free to respond in any way that works for you. And I do make my way to those as the week rolls on. As you know, I'm really deep in the year ahead readings. They've been amazing so far. They're very involved. I'm doing 20 cards for each person in addition to the 5 that we already covered in the part 1. So, it's definitely labor of love that I'm enjoying and looking forward to connecting with many of you on your incoming year ahead readings as well. So, of course, they are available all year long. So if anybody did not yet reserve one and is interested in taking that full 360-degree look at 2025, those are available as well through my booking link. So let's get into it. Again, these are the card pulls I do in my free space, the Empowerment Sharecast in the Marco Polo app. So if you're catching this in any of my social media spaces, this is a sampling of what we do over there. We have a lot of fun stuff coming up next week. We prepare to welcome in the Lunar New Year. And so we'll be talking about the Chinese zodiac, the year of the wood snake, talking about how you can identify your personal Chinese zodiac animal, the symbolism, the elements. We're going to be doing a pick a card. So it's a great time to join us on the Empowerment Sharecast. I try to share some of what we do on our social media spaces. I don't know. I'm in a weird place with it. I have disdain for all the pressures of social media. So that's what I love so much about the free space on the Marco Polo app. So please check it out if you're interested to see more. We do have fun over there, but I will do my best. That being said, my weekly, after we pull these cards for the week, we're going to do one for each day of the week. Then I'm going to break it down in little bite-sized videos that you can check out in your time. Each day of the week, I like to share a reel for that card of the day. And I use an audio from Audible Mystics, where they have beautiful short clips with interpretations for the upright and the reversed meanings of all of the tarot cards. Well, I can report that audio is not available on Instagram, so I get it from TikTok, or at least I did. So I don't use TikTok regularly, but I do go there each day to get our Audible Mystics clips. So, maybe some redirection this week in that, the big headline as of last night, Saturday, TikTok is currently not available in the US. So again, if we went back and listened to some of our astrological weather about big things happening on the world stage and power moves and different things being suspended and opportunities, it's all happening, right? It's happening in the macro. We're watching here from the micro and having an opportunity to really turn within, to really be able to process and move through integrating what's coming up for ourselves, which then shines without. So this is the year of the hermit. We're just going to keep seeing this opportunity for us to turn inward in order to seek out our own truths in the midst of all the things. So that being said, we'll see what reels I come up with each day this week, but not a terrible thing to have a moment to sort of redirect and reassess the way we're doing things and what the things we rely upon and all of it. Okay, So let's see what is coming in this week. Of course, as I'm shuffling and speaking to that world stage, I'm reminded that yet another thing to mention happening tomorrow, Monday, the 20th, as I'm shuffling, Inauguration Day in the US. So again, a lot of big stage things happening this week, setting tones for, waves of energy that we're moving through as a collective at this time. And what role do I wish to play in all of that? And who will I be? And how am I showing up? So also with that, and it being a snow day here, the kids are also off of school tomorrow. It is Martin Luther King Jr. Day as well. So Monday, the 20th. So just a lot of symbolic energy for us to tap into in the energy of the collective and much more. But we'll see how the cards speak to that. So let's begin by pulling our card for Monday, which sets the tone for our week ahead. So let's see what's coming in for our Monday energy. In the US, it is Inauguration Day as well as Martin Luther King Jr. Day as well. So let's just feel into all of that. Ooh, a few things wanting to come up there. That one. 9 of coins. Look at those grapes. Look at that barrel, the wine. So we're making all the grapes, compressing beautiful bounty that comes forward from those grapes. But again, a lot of symbolism there with that beautiful house on the hill. So let's take a look at that. That's setting the tone for us for the week. 9 of coins, 9 of pentacles. Beautiful. All right, let's see. Okay, so with that 9 of coins setting the tone, what's coming in for Tuesday's potential block or challenge this week? And again, these messages are for the collective, so you are always invited to take what resonates and leave the rest. That's how it works with a collective reading. There's always someone there to pick it up. But that being said, I love hearing from you. It never gets old how these messages play out throughout the week, how they show up for each of us uniquely. But the best way for some more direct guidance is, of course, to have a personal reading. And if you would like a single card pull for this week, I do offer those complimentary over on the Empowerment Sharecast. So feel free to let me know if you'd like one of those. Let's see, Tuesday's potential block or challenge this week. Hello, old friend, back again. Hanged Man, perspective. So last week, this came in for how we are growing. Now it's frustrating. It's sticking here, right? There's this sense of a potential block or challenge in the upside down, right? In the suspension, in this stuckness of, having opportunities to see things from new vantage points. So that is interesting to think about, that migration from how we're growing to a potential block or challenge, which last week was 2 of Swords. So those 2 cards were already very connected about our perception of our choices and our ability to move freely being challenged. So that's interesting as that just came out. Perspective. So we'll get into that for Tuesday. Wednesday is a midweek blessing. A midweek blessing for us. 10 of Swords. Wow, look at that. You guys know I'm still geeking out over these gorgeous cards. There's many that have not yet come into readings I've done, and this is one of them. Wow. So endings of one chapter, beginning of new ones, but stick a fork or an icicle in me. I'm done, as I say. Whew. Okay. So there's a lot of energy here with all of those icicles hanging down. Is it stalactites or stalagmites? The ones that hang from above or come from below? They're hanging from above. So we'll feel into that. What a gorgeous card. And wherein lies that blessing. So we'll feel into that message for sure. Thursday, how we are growing. How we are growing. Let's see. Ooh, the Tower. Okay, so significant energies coming on in here. Wow, these gorgeous homes featured in these cards as well. Just beautiful structures, and yet the tree fell on the power line, it looks like there. So, yeah, I think there's obviously going to be a lot of focus this week in the collective. And knowing that Tuesday and Thursday were so connected last week, Two of Swords, perspective over here, flip that, perspective here, Tower energy coming in. So we'll feel into how we're growing in that energy. Okay, and finally Friday. Let's see what's coming in now for Friday. One card for Friday. Seven of Swords. Oh my gosh, this is adorable. I saw this in my travels through the deck. And I love this because it's a card of deception. It's a card of, whoops, spring, circled it on the calendar. Here I am, ready. Oops, nope, never mind. Just kidding. It's snowing. I love that. But yeah, that's beautiful. Friday wrapping it all up. So there's some symbolism there too. Yeah. Wow, we've got quite the bunch this week to take in. So we'll feel into this. We're going to talk about a little energetic weather here. Then we're going to get into our Monday through Friday messages. We have a big football game happening here for our town today. Again, I've said before, I'm not a sports enthusiast, but I'm here for the snacks and for the camaraderie and the collective excitement this time of year, the bandwagon opportunities. So we do have some really fun plans with friends of ours today. So I've got dips to make and things to do. So I'm going to keep rolling into recording these messages before I start on that. Oh, one more card to pull. Thank you. Okay, getting that reminder from Spirit. We want, they all jumped out. We want one card from the Sacred Destiny for guidance this week. I'm going to spray peace and reconciliation. Sapphire, blue, coming in here. And just bringing in that peace overall, as we navigate potentially, a lot of frenetic energy here coming in this week and rippling out into the coming days, wherever we are in the world. And however we're experiencing it, we're all one. So collectively, we're all connected in what we're moving through here as a humanity. And it's very symbolic that the calendar page turns into the season of Aquarius, which is bringing through these higher truths and clarity and humanity and authenticity and so many other amazing things, but miles to go before we sleep, right? So there's a lot coming in here for us to navigate. So let me just bring in again that peace and reconciliation for us to hold that frequency as we pull a card for us collectively from the Sacred Destiny for highest and best guidance as we go. Highest and best guidance here for the collective this week. Abundance. A lot of spring vibes coming in here. So we're getting some spring vibes peeking in. So again, in terms of timing and energies that we are looking towards at this time, we'll feel into all of that. Okay, guys, let's get to it. I'm gonna be coming right back on here with our energetic weather. Let's check it out. All right, let's get into some of this energetic weather this week. A few things to point out, beginning with that big, beautiful full moon in Cancer coming in right out the gate on Monday, Moon Day, January 13th. So again, this is our first full moon of 2025, and it's falling in that watery, intuitive sign of Cancer. And a full moon loves to be in the sign of Cancer. So already we're getting these waves of harmony that are flowing in. And with that, I say emotion, feels, and floods of them at times. So again, those of us who are sensitive especially, or depending on, your own astrology, you're going to be receiving this full moon in varying degrees. Waves is a key word that is really being used here. But harmony is flowing in with that. And so, Cancer, in Cancer, the moon allows us to feel secure and to give us a sense of comfort that all will be well. That's a mantra of this full moon. Now, with that though, And also, Mars will be very active under this full moon. Mars has been front and center on the stage as we stepped into 2025 and continues to be bringing in that fiery entrance here into this first part of the year. Now, with Mars being very active under this full moon, it's once again encouraging us to review and assess, can't make it up, wait till you see our Queen of the Moon Oracle card, how we are choosing to spend our time and energy. Oh, isn't that interesting with that 4 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles, the Hanged Man perspective, all showing up in our spread this week. How are we choosing? 2 of Swords as well, to spend our time and energy. Are we giving to things that are no longer serving us? Are we expending energy in a fruitless direction? So we may feel the need to shed patterns of the past and to think about ways that we can shift in a more abundant direction. So you can use the energy of this full moon to let go of those patterns and behaviors that are no longer serving you. Now, with that, in the empowerment full moon reading, we get into, Cancer being the sign of the home, of our families, mother, identities, and so much more. So these are the areas in which a lot of this could be coming up. And as I said, if you want to go deeper, that part 1 is already ready. I will put a link here either at the end of our chat on the Empowerment Sharecast or in the description caption below where you're seeing this. You can always just reach out to me and I will get you all set up to join us for this empowerment reading for this big first full moon of 2025, and we go deeper. So part 1, ready for you. Part 2 is your personal card pulls where we pull an additional tarot and oracle card message and really weave into that spread to see what's coming forward for you. Now, also pointing out this week, January 15th, Sun opposite Mars retrograde. So this is an important day in this current Mars retrograde cycle. It gives us some clarity on what Mars retrograde has been bringing up for us. So we may begin to see that bigger picture or perhaps start to understand how we're being called to recalibrate our energy levels. So you see, this is the beauty in when we tune into these cycles, right? This energetic weather is about us just being aware of what's in the atmosphere so that we can tune in and flow with those energies. So we have a full moon in Cancer coming in to illuminate, right? It brings the light. And then we have a Mars retrograde in Cancer. Again, we're being shown about this thing on our energy and our investments and where old stories and old habits and old patterns are ready to be released and transmuted so that we can step into the new. So this is definitely a day to be aware of. So that's going to be Wednesday, our midweek. So again, we'll talk about that when we get in. You can't make this up, right? Wednesday was 4 of Pentacles. 4 of coins, right? 4 of coins, 4 of Pentacles, the card of what are you holding on to? What are you investing in? It's so perfect. So this is what I love about it. It just doesn't matter what medium we're tuning into. You're drawn to what speaks to you. And like I often say, I'm not an astrologer. I am an enthusiast. I love my cards. I love the stars, and I love to weave together all of these elements. And anywhere you look, you can find these answers through your own intuitive lens, right? Using your own innate knowing, being empowered using these tools. So this is just where I'm geeking out a little bit because it just is so cool. Finally, highlighting for you on Saturday of next week, January 18th, Venus conjunct Saturn. So Venus, the planet of love, aligns with Saturn, our Lord of Karma, in Pisces. Venus and Saturn together can teach us that love can be beautiful, but also painful. Love can be bliss, but also suffering too. All things can come from love. And today, January 18th, is a good day to practice self-love and to remember that the more we love ourselves, the more we can heal, the more we can thrive, and the more we can open ourselves to being loved by others. So yes, a blend of some of that tough love that's coming in there through the lessons, but also opportunities then to turn us toward filling our own cup and investing in self and self-love. So some energy to be aware of there before we would meet again for our card pulls on the other side of next week. All right, let's take a look now at our Queen of the Moon Oracle card that came forward in the empowerment reading to set the tone for the full moon in Cancer. All right, Monday coming in here to set the tone for the week, and we have this beautiful 9 of coins, this lovely image of the grapes, the wine, and this barrel. So feeling into all of this along with the frequency of the number 9 and this sense of, what is culminating, what is coming into fruition when we think about the smushing of those grapes and the production of the wine. So, I talked a lot in the card pull and the energetic weather about some of the big things that are happening this week on the world stage and just how that may be hitting differently for each of us, but yet we're all experiencing it in some way. So this is sort of setting the tone on this day, Monday, the 20th, which brings in Aquarius season, a change in the wind, shifting this energy, while also noting certain things happening, such as Inauguration Day in the U.S., Martin Luther King Jr. Day of reflection, of service. So there's a lot of different aspects coming in that we are experiencing, all while, like I said, in many parts of the U.S., we're having snow. So there's weather, and that's just, the tip of the iceberg, so we'll say, because obviously there's things happening everywhere. So as we feel into that energy, it comes to my attention that we have an opportunity to illuminate. So let me bring on the light. There we go. So symbolism there. Okay, so let's talk about what we have coming in from the winter season tarot in regards to this 9 of coins, setting the tone for our week. So, Dani'el shares with us, Canada is the largest producer of ice wine, with Ontario producing 90% of it. So I love that, because she's actually sharing about her local space while I'm catching myself going on about what's happening here. It's snowing here, just so you all know. And ice wine sounds amazing. Okay, so this is a card of abundance. And, let it be known what came forward for us from Spirit as our highest and best guidance. So we're already seeing some crossover here. But the message says you live in an abundance of beauty, stability, and wealth that you manifested yourself. So take a moment to show gratitude for the life you have and all the blessings within it. You have worked, learned, and have grown, and it shows. Now that you are reaping the benefits of patience, positivity, and personal power, use this wealth to create long-term financial stability for yourself. You are self-made, independent, and abundantly successful. So again, this is the pentacles, the coins that have been showing up for us quite consistently for several weeks now. Yes, speak to the money and the finances and the actual coins, right? But also they really symbolize that root chakra base energy of safety, security, your commodities, the abundance that you have in your life that is directly connected to you manifesting them through your actions, through your thoughts, through your intentions and your actions you manifest. So it really is about all of the different ways in which you can make something from, in this case, the grapes, the symbolism of taking even the sourest and creating something of beauty and something of meaning that you can not only create for yourself, but also share abundantly. So there is this sense of looking at what you have made in your surroundings, wherever they are, and whatever the weather, using that term just as an umbrella to really cover, the conditions outside of you, right? In the world, in your town, in your room that you're in, whatever's happening around you. what are you going to create from it? And how are you going to create? And from what space do you wish to create? So, it's really setting the tone for what's possible. There's an abundance of fill in the blank. And sometimes it can be an abundance of stuff we'd rather not be surrounded by or up to our eyeballs in, right? And yet we can still create from whatever it is. And that's really the challenge. That's how we're challenged to say, from whatever angle you're looking at this, from wherever you find yourself in the proximity of these ingredients, these conditions, whoever's in charge, whatever's happening, outside your window, what are you going to make from it? And not getting caught up in but how can I when this is that and this is that, there's this sense of, again, putting it outside of ourself rather than coming back to what I can do and my attitude of gratitude and a frequency of abundance. Abundance of what? What do I want? What abundance do I wish to create in my life? And what do I have laying around here that I can use, right? So just kind of feeling a number of different ways that's coming in. But yeah, frequency 9 showing up to set the tone for our week, which again turns you back to you for some of that self-reflection to see. And also, it is also a number of humanity, of compassion, of community, of coming together. So again, both. There's 2 glasses of wine here. There is this sense of toasting to what is possible. And again, maybe doing so through a lens that's a little more lighthearted and a little more, celebratory for all that we have endured to come to a place where we now are challenged to create from that space. And yet look what we're creating, and it's all about perspective. And so with that, let's turn to Tuesday's repeat card. All right, Tuesday's potential blocker challenge. Look who's back again. This was Thursday's card last week for us collectively, representing how we're growing. And now it's here, 12, the Hanged Man perspective, coming in for our potential blocker challenge this week. Now, if you tuned in to the messages last week over on the Empowerment Sharecast, or I did share that one in one of my social media spaces, we talked about its connection to Tuesday's card of last week, the 2 of Swords, and perspective and choices and crossroads and feeling stuck or suspended in some way. And now it joins that position as a block or a challenge. So we're going to tune into perspective from that lens of it being reversed, it being challenged. So this is the one that really invited us to allow the world to really slow down. And yet we were feeling frustrated because we want to go, right? And we just talked about that in the energetic weather, that with the arrival of Aquarius season, we may feel that, as the energies shift from the lower chakras to the upper chakras, and it's flipped upside down, that crown wants to go, there's these ideas, these thoughts, this compulsion for us to take action. And yet we may be held up in some way, slowed down in some way. How might that be showing up for you? So the reversal asks us, are you confused about why things keep happening the way that they do? Stop what you are doing and pause. Find a way to start reshaping or reprogramming your mind with a new way of listening and being. Out with the old and in with the new. Yes. I have been stumbling upon, so much of this information about the words that we use, the spells that we cast, quantum timeline jumps, right? Just like we see this snowboarder taking that jump, it's like, in order for us to level up and make these quantum jumps in what we are co-creating in our lives and what timeline we wish to be on, we have an opportunity to really go within, stop, collaborate and listen. Like I said last week, hold up, wait a minute, take a look at how my mind is contributing. What is it? And this is going to lead right into Wednesday's card, the 10 of Swords. The swords are the mind, the ideas, the thoughts, the beliefs, the mental jousting in this case. And like last week being the 2 of Swords, this crossroads, this limited perspective. And now it's back again. It's in your face. You can't look away. It keeps coming back because there's more for us to explore here. And this is going to be an opportune time, Aquarius season, bringing in these opportunities for us to really connect in with the mind and the intellect from a fresh air perspective of how we are perceiving things, our thoughts, our beliefs, the thoughts and beliefs of others and how they influence us or how we have allowed them to influence, and a lot of other ways that we could be looking at that. You know, we've got a bunch of swords on the altar this week. So there is an energy of a shift in our thoughts, our beliefs, the mind, and the tricks that the mind can play. That, you know, what I was saying is coming up for me a lot are some amazing podcasts and just a beautiful Zoom group that I got to be a part of yesterday, channeling the energy of the element of air, doing a global constellation session, which was amazing with some beautiful divine feminine goddesses with myself. It was really wonderful. And it's so relevant to this energy that I'm tapping into here to say that how much our beliefs, our ideas, the thoughts in your mind, and then the words that you speak give power and manifest as what you see materialize in your reality. The coins, the grapes, the wine that you're making is directly connected to the thoughts, the beliefs, the ideas that we are utilizing to create, whether we realize it or not. So the hold up, the pause is for us to begin to see these things in a way that comes into our awareness as perhaps ahas or flashes of insight, which again, these cards are all speaking. That's the Tower, the flash of insight of a surprise idea, concept, belief that maybe kind of gets you off guard, but is so important in facilitating great shifts and changes in the foundation of your beliefs, which then inform your words and your deeds, you know, the actions that you take in the world. So it's all sort of weaving together a pretty big story here, but you know, how it might show up for you this week, again, in the frustration of a holdup, a hiccup, being held up or blocked in some way. What is this asking me to take a look at from a different perspective, to see another way? So let's take a look with that at our midweek blessing now for Wednesday. All right, so as we turn that crown upside down, we have a midweek blessing coming in through the 10 of Swords. And like I said, when I was pulling these cards, just how beautiful the icicles hanging from above. And then we see here, this character has definitely been pierced by one of those icicles with that crow, hearkening that element of air, of change, of, you know, change in the wind that's coming in. And it's coming in, and it is announcing its arrival in some way, as crows are my, you know, the noisy, squeaky wheel, the one that you can't not hear when they get to calling. You know, there's this sense of a particular thought, belief, or idea that's kind of come in here with some type of fanfare, you know, some type of arrival that we're intensely aware of. But yet look at all these other ideas and beliefs and thoughts and things that are all available up here. So, you know, the 10 is bringing in the potential, you know, ending of one and beginning of something new, this crossroads, this place where the two shall meet. We could experience in any number of ways. And in a 10 of Swords, and remember, this is a midweek blessing, a 10 of Swords is, you know, when we get to the end, and like I said, I usually say about this card, stick a fork in me, I'm done. It does hearken that image of sort of crawling towards survival during transformation, and how that can be pure anguish. You know, we don't always make it in terms of, you know, perhaps as it might not be pretty, you know, but the way that this is coming up is the ending of the worst, you know, in terms of moments in life that have really altered everything as we know it. And it really emerges allowing for space to then say, okay, that is done. It is over. You know, bittersweet, good, bad, indifferent, whatever, the ending of something precipitates a new beginning. So it creates space to breathe and create a new path. So it says in the winter season tarot, this is what's happening here is a time of letting go of the reins and allowing life to take over. What is happening, and it's happening for you, not to you. So it's needed in order for you to end what no longer serves you in your life. So now you will be placed on a new path towards a new journey in your life. And you may feel powerless in this, but by allowing yourself to feel through it all, you will have a greater understanding of what and why this is happening. You may be feeling powerless, without power. Coming right up is the Tower. As Thursdays, how are you growing? So you might be feeling powerless, like the lights went off, like you were just hit upside the head with a bolt of lightning, as the Tower often precipitates, or in this case, a tree falling on the wires, right? But here in this Ten of Swords, this icicle that has pierced, it could be a cold, rude awakening, piercing. And yet it's all, we're using this as a hypothetical or it's energetic example to say that these thoughts, these beliefs, these ideas, these concepts that might be shocking, right? Unexpected, however they arrive, this is a blessing because it is the beginning of the end of one old belief system or thought or idea or something that has run its course that's no longer serving, that now creates not only a space for breathing fresh air and for creating a new path, but a desire to do so. I can't stay laying here face down in the snow, right? I can't stay suspended up here in the air indefinitely. This too can, shall, will, must pass, right? Whatever it is, we will persevere. 9, energy, persevere, keep going, right? And so, it's a blessing, this new idea or this unveiling of something that needed to be clarified or needed to come to light in order for us to recalibrate and rebuild from here, to rewire as we get into the Tower energy as it is over in this beautiful depiction. So the midweek blessing, I feel, is really just sitting with those thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and just allowing them to precipitate new beginnings, new pathways, new foundations and structures that we are building collectively. And it starts individually, right? It starts in your own yard. So when the tree falls and there's cleanup to be done, we get to it, right? So let's get to it and take a look here at Thursday's energy. All right, Thursday, bringing in how we are growing. And I can report that I stepped out of the room for a moment here Sunday afternoon. It's actually just about to be 1:11, which is funny because I recorded the card pulls at 1222. Now it's 1:11. My daughter has told me TikTok is back in the US. So I know I mentioned, some of the shocking the plug being pulled out on TikTok in the US and the ripple effects of all of that and the way in which there could be some drama around that or how that will continue on in the coming days. We have the Tower that came in for Thursday's energy in terms of how we are growing. And I do feel, like there is a connection here to how we are plugged in and having the plug pulled on that. Having, in this case, this depiction of this tree falling over the power lines and cutting the power to this house. We can see the symbolism of the way that the Tower evokes this sense of a shock or a sudden cutting of connection or sparking of a connection that creates momentum. It creates movement, and we perceive what we're making from all of that. What are we making from the abundance of energy that it has come together, frenetic or not? The way that this energy is all coming together, how are we navigating that? And in what way are we growing in navigating these things? And so when we have this sense of something being cut off or unplugged or in some way taken down, like I said, it was short-lived for now. I don't know where it goes from here, but just as, the real world and tarot imitating life, these are things that are unfolding in the collective. The Tower is a big one. It's a big energy that comes in a week when we're talking about the Uranian influences that we are experiencing now with Pluto in Aquarius and the Sun in Aquarius conjunct Pluto in Aquarius, and just, the energy that's building here. And where does that leave us in terms of how are we growing in it? What's coming forward for us in the way of perspective of how we perceive these big happenings, sudden, expected, or otherwise. So this one, the Tower says, there are worse things in life that can happen other than your electricity being out for days from a winter snow and ice storm. But in that moment, on a cold winter day, you anticipate the moment that the electricity comes back on and life settles back in. Yeah, oftentimes when we do lose power, for example, we become acutely aware of just how dependent we are on it. And this is what I'm saying about some of these things, especially when it comes to technology and social media and, the direction that things have been moving, that we may become acutely aware through their absence or disruption just how dependent we've become upon things, and maybe wanting to rethink, rewire the way that we prioritize and what we're making from all that we have in front of us. This is all just little spiritual breadcrumbs that I'm weaving here. So this speaks of the foundations of life crumbling. So while creating your foundations, perhaps you missed an important step. Destruction, chaos, life-altering situations are happening all around you. A new way of life is being altered for you, and this may leave you feeling insecure and confused, but it is in this feeling that you will begin to rebuild. So like I said, as within, so without, the things that we're experiencing on the world stage repeatedly giving us opportunities to go within and look at what's going on internally and how we're wired, and wherein there may lie an opportunity from a skip step or something that's faulty, that's no longer working, that the light's going out leads to inevitably the lights coming back on. But we want that to occur bigger, better, and more expansive, how are we growing? And that's what the Tower asks us. So really beautiful. Parallels can be drawn with all of this energy happening this week. And as we set the tone for Aquarius season, as we're setting the tone for Pluto in Aquarius, it's all coming forward, and in quite a significant way, through two especially major cards this week: Perspective, Hanged Man, and the Tower. So the challenge and the block also comes in the allowing for the growth and the steps to take to get there, which involve a rewiring and alignment of thoughts, beliefs, ideas, and then the inspired actions that we're taking in the world to create from within. So, a lot of these collective messages are taking the front stage here this week, I feel. I think it's just a significant one in the world in general. And so, again, always bring that down into your own personal situations and see how that's playing out in your relationships, in your surroundings. And again, if you're feeling any of these energies more intensely than others and you would like a personal card pull, I invite you to let me know in any way that works for you. And we'll tune in just for you with a card pull in relation to these energies we're navigating this week. Let's take a look now at Friday's energy. All right, Friday is bringing a pretty cool take on the Seven of Swords to wrap up our week. So this is a card of, what can be a little bit of trickster energy, in terms of deception. And I love the tongue-in-cheek way that we're seeing April, spring circled on the calendar, and yet there's snow outside, right? Not so fast. So interesting, because we've had a lot of reference here to the astrological new year, to the arrival of spring equinox, of, this second to final sign of the zodiac coming in to round out the wheel of the year, but also being encouraged to really connect in with our own discernment and authenticity when it comes to perceiving the thoughts, beliefs, ideas, expression. Swords also for me, and especially again the blue jay, just like the crow that we mentioned here in this 10 of swords, blue jays for me are also, you can't not hear their calling when they get to going. So the blue jay is another one that again, I feel that there's a lot of voices on the world stage and in the collective that we may hear rather loudly, and yet we have an opportunity to really come into our own authenticity and discernment when it comes to just deciphering truths. And the swords also connecting, and the blue jay, like I said, very much so into that fifth chakra, the throat chakra, of expression, of the words being spoken, of, truth, clarity, and cutting through BS, I will say. So 7 of swords coming in for Friday to wrap it all up with some perspective coming in. So let's take a look at the winter season tarot's take on this beautiful card. Okay, 7 of swords. So Dani'el's telling us that in Canada, we have about 4 winters. The sneakiest trick of betrayal that the weather plays on us is snowing in April. So as she created this beautiful deck last year, 2024, it even snowed in May. I feel it. Yes, we've had crazy years. We've had years where it snowed on Halloween, and we've had years where it snowed late into April for sure. I don't know about May here in, I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm on the East Coast of the US, but nonetheless, it's snowing as I speak. As it would, because it's January, but hey, what does this Leo know? The message coming in here is it's very important to be truthful and honest. The truth will always rise up and be exposed no matter what point in time it reveals itself. It is important to communicate the truth in all situations, regardless of how it makes others feel. What are you trying to hide? Lying, deceit, and betrayal have an energy to it that does not make sense to people. Use your gut instinct as your guardian angel in situations that do not make sense to you. If something does not feel right to you, then it is probably not. Yeah, I think this is so important. Like I said, big things happening on the world stage that are definitely going to present all different words and ideas and thoughts and concepts and conflicting thoughts and words and concepts and stories and all of the things. This is really going to be sort of the challenge, is to constantly be endeavoring to experience those things from different viewpoints, from different perspectives, to really ascend to higher, go out wider and wider and wider with that bird's eye view to see all of the different ways that the information serves, and really using your own internal truth detector, BS detector, as I say, when it comes to deciphering what's calling at you from the outside. So again, that's going to show up in so many different ways. Start with you. Start at home, at your center, how it's showing up in your life. And like I said, when you start to look through these different lenses, you will see the parallels to what is happening in the collective and how that shows up as a frequency in your life and vice versa. And like really having an opportunity to decide who you want to be in all that, what role you want to play, what your beliefs are, what is your truth, and operating from that space. So let's just say that this week will definitely be one for setting a pathway forward, and there's so much more to come. But again, thank you for being here and for holding the light and for being a light weaver and really setting an intention for the highest available timeline as a collective, and to ask to be shown by your higher self, by your wise self, by team spirit, what is serving me in this moment? How am I best served in my thoughts, my words, and my deeds, in my unique expression in the world? And take a step from that place. So with that, we're going to wrap up with our final card for the week, an oracle message from Sacred Destiny. Let's take a look. All right, we close out this week with a beautiful message from the Sacred Destiny Oracle, this card of abundance that we were infusing with the intentions of peace and reconciliation. Bringing that in, we received a card of abundance, Wildflower Wonderland. And the message from the Sacred Destiny says, wildflowers are not intentionally planted. They are untamed, natural, and free. Their fragrance calls bees to pollinate them so that seeds are created to continue the cycle of life. These kinds of natural flowers don't try to be profuse and beautiful. They just are, without struggle or worry. They are abundant without worry or effort, Prosperity is your birthright, and the ground profusion of a field of untamed flowers reminds you that the windfall is coming. It's simply a matter of aligning your vibration and frequency with that which you desire to manifest. The sacred landscape wants you to know everything is blossoming in life. Open yourself to receive. Abundance, fulfillment, and prosperity are ready to be activated in your life. Life desires you to prosper. You are moving toward an outpouring of money, energy, time, or love. Opportunities are limitless. However, you must take action in the direction of your dreams. Don't wait for abundance to fall into your lap. Take steps. Give deeply and fully. Don't hold back. This card reveals that this is a great time to make investments. The more you give with a free and open heart, the more you will receive. Be grateful for what you already have, and even more will flow to you. So yeah, this week we began and ended with abundance because we received, of course, the 9 of coins with the barrel of the wine and the grapes and the richness of, what we can make from what we have, what is available to us and what we make of it. And looking at it through that lens, the abundance card comes in with this field of wildflowers, all of these, and it's untamed. And in order for it to be free, in order for it to have that space to grow as it will, there is an untamed wild nature to it. So to the extent that things feel a little unraveled and, off the chain, there's a sense of you really having this opportunity. It's the same message that I've been sharing throughout these cards today about your thoughts, your words, and your actions, and how we have an opportunity to streamline them, to bring them into harmony. And it's through these processes that we've just gone over for this whole week of awakenings and aha moments and shifts and changes and losses and new opportunities being created that we do this, that we bring these things into fruition. So it's a beautiful message to really punctuate the week that's saying, we're transitioning, coming into this air energy, this change on the wind, which is reflecting our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, our truths, our understandings, our expression, that it's really coming together to create something that's wild, yes, free. And it's still in its formation. It's being planted now through these seeds, through these steps, through your deeds. So think about what you want to contribute to that wildflower field, and who you want to be in that field, and start to align yourself with it through your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So I hope that makes sense and there wasn't too much crazy grandstanding today. There's a lot of moving parts going on here. But like I said, it's unfolding in real time. So I'm here. I always enjoy hearing from each of you on how the messages this week unfold for you uniquely. And again, if anyone would like a free personal card pull, I do those over on my also free Empowerment Sharecast on Marco Polo. If you're not there already, I invite you to join us. We've got some fun stuff coming up in the coming weeks. And I would love to connect with you there, wherever you find this. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sending you all much love and many blessings.